SuperTalk Mississippi Media Production.
If you're feeling anxious about your investments with all the economic volatility and chaos in Washington, tune in to SuperTalk Jackson on Wednesdays from 9 to 10 a.m. and Sundays from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. for Element Wealth Radio with Jeremy Nelson. Learn more at myelementwealth.com.
I'm Steve Azar, and I'm on the other side of the microphone, meaning I'm asking the questions this time, and oh, have mercy for the airwaves. I spent 20 years in Music City, wrote and made some hits, traveled the world, and then moved my family back to the birthplace of American music and where the magnolia trees prosper. And now every time I put my feet on Mississippi soil, when I'm off the road, well, I'm at peace. On this show, it's all about hearing the stories straight from the mouths of the friends I've made along the way, their journey to success. Heck, there might be someone on, I don't even know, but you know how us Mississippi types are. We tend to take well to new company. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them. I'm Steve Azar. It's just like that muddy river, moving slow. Ain't no worries, it's how life goes, baby. In a Mississippi Minute. That's right.
Hey folks, time for another In a Mississippi Minute. Grateful you guys are tuning in into my 8th year. Almost completing. I guess I'm 7.5 years in. It's been a blast. Thank you for allowing me to learn to listen, as I often say. I don't take it for granted. I don't take you guys for granted. Sure don't take my team at SuperTalk Mississippi for granted. Really appreciate them. My sponsors, man, come on. Superior Catfish. Made here and produced right here in Mississippi, just like me. I was produced right here in Mississippi, and so just love it. Love our hallowed ground. Please go to superiorcatfish.com. You can go to store.superiorcatfish.com and get it delivered to your house. And you'll be cooking it up in no time. And speaking of cooking it up, the birthplace of America's music, why the world turns musically is because of us. Take pride in your Mississippi. Plan a road trip. Visit Mississippi.org. Today is round 547. I'm just going to give a number out there because I have him on a lot. First of all, I get a lot of text messages when he's on. People are sort of in the work world out there, and you're trying to figure it out and how to try to make yourself happier in the workplace, remain happy, always kind of moving forward, living in the present, and doing everything as ethically and morally as possible, which is the way you should do it. Today's guest is all about that. He's an award-winning author, speaker, strategic business coach, Benedictine Oblate, drawing on nearly 40 years of business experience and the wisdom of the Rule of Benedict. He incorporates, which we're going to talk about from his newsletter, multiple times and in different ways, strategic mindset, stability, community, excellence, profound hospitality. And those are the tools that he feels are set up for you all to have success. As the author of the acclaimed book, including Sell Like a Monk, The Sweet Spot, where business strategy, positive psychology, and faith principles converge, and ultimate breakthrough planning, and his upcoming book, which I really want to talk about and see if he's almost finished with it, when it's going to come out, More Thriving, Less Grumbling. That says a lot. His work empowers purpose-driven entrepreneurs, visionary leaders, and mission-focused organizations to achieve strategic growth and long-term success. Let's get to it right now. Part 253. I don't know what it is. I just know I'm excited to have back Mike, the Monk Guy Farrell.
Hey, Steve. Good to be back for the 788th time.
Oh, I see. I knew we were somewhere up there.
I've lost count, too.
I love it. Well, it's good to have you back. I know you're in South Dakota. I know the weather's been bouncing back from like 85, 90 to 40. What is it today there?
I think we got about 50 today. So, yeah, not very warm.
Will you play golf?
Yeah, it'll be a little chilly on the golf course today.
Yeah. You know, there was a time when you and me that weather didn't matter at all. Rain, right. Sleet, or snow, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah, not anymore.
Not anymore. Hey, I was looking at this new Principled Flourishing, it says. It's sort of a logo that you've got on your email list that I get every Wednesday. It says, think strategically, plan effectively, improve relentlessly. I love that. I'm upside down now. Deliver
authentically,
and lead virtuously. I'm reading upside down, guys. It's a logo that's in a circle, so I can barely read right side up. Let's talk about each one of those right now. I want to start with what really really drew my attention was improve relentlessly.
Right. Yeah, I mean, improve relentlessly really fits into the idea of the Monk principle of excellence. It's really looking at this aspect of how do we continue to improve our business, our organizations, our leadership, our products and services, all of those kinds of things. It's that relentless pursuit of excellence and improving that constantly. So it's really looking at where are you at today and how do you get better. And it's not what's really important, and I think Ken Blanchard wrote about this many years ago, talking about incremental improvement, not dramatic improvement. I think too many times businesses or leaders look at it and say, well, we're going to grow 50% this year. And yet if you look at it from an incremental standpoint and say, well, we're going to grow 1% a week, measure that from that perspective, or we're going to improve 1% a week or whatever it is, at the end of 52 weeks, you've improved 52%. So it's that incremental process. It's not these broad leaps that we look at from a standpoint of, going from A to Z and go from A to B instead. Yeah.
One bite of the elephant at a time, they say, but when you look that far ahead at the big picture, right? So you're saying that it could be overwhelming and you can miss so many targets that get you to that point because you're not, a lot could be missed, right? Right.
Well, and it's interesting. In my first book, Ultimate Breakthrough Planning, I write about the fact that too many times we focus on goals, but we don't focus on the activities and actions that it's going to take to get to those goals. And so what happens is you'll see organizations and people, the minute that it becomes apparent that they're not going to hit the goal, either one, they start making excuses, or if it becomes apparent that they're going to hit the goal and it's early, so it's September and they still got 4 months of the year left, they put it in cruise control. And
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And so understanding that if we focus on the activities and the actions and measure those, the goal takes care of itself.
Okay. Let's talk about plan effectively. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously that sort of speaks for itself, but dig a little deeper for me.
Well, and planning effectively is really going back to the business planning funnel that I created in that first book, Ultimate Breakthrough Planning. And it really goes at the idea of breaking things into bite-sized pieces. Okay. And really starting with, and what I talk about is starting with what I call a higher purpose vision. And I think you and I have probably talked a little bit about that, in previous shows. But this idea that our organization is focused on something other than ourselves or on profitability, revenue, financial, whatever it is. We're focused on something that's a higher purpose. So maybe it's a cause. Maybe it's something that entrepreneur or leader is doing for their family or for a school or a church or, whatever it is, whatever we can focus on, the results, if we look at that higher purpose vision, and you look at the research that's been done over this, those organizations that focus on a higher purpose vision always outperform their peers and their competitors. Their peers and their competitors are focused on the money,
Wow. Well, when you look at the spreadsheet at the end of the month, and especially if you've gone public, right? I mean, you're dealing with the reality of that. When companies that are building themselves up and they're, before they make the big sell, and then, or if they go public, right? What happens a lot? Does that become something that is in the forefront when maybe it wasn't? Maybe people they were focused on being successful, for planning effectively, for improving relentlessly, for, in a minute, thinking strategically. But what happens when all of a sudden the pressure is on and you've got all these investors involved that you didn't? Can that be a dark hole?
Oh, absolutely. Because what happens is they wind up chasing short-term gains for long-term strategy. And
so go ahead. I'm sorry.
And when you start chasing short-term gains, sooner or later, you're not going to get them. And then you create even more immense pressure. And so whether it's a public company or private company, you see this, and there's all kinds of companies that we can talk about that have done this, where they look at this idea of shareholder value, and they look at it on a quarterly basis, and everything they do drives the results on that quarter. And yet they're not thinking about 2 years from now or 5 years from now or 10 years from now. And those are the companies that 2 years and 5 years and 10 years from now aren't around anymore.
Okay, let's take a quick break because you got me. My mind's like on fire right now.
Yeah.
And that's what happens to it. Speaking of on fire, if you get your stove going, get it good gas up. If you got gas, you got electric, whatever you got. If you got the grill outside and you got a black iron skillet, let's break out some Superior Catfish, homegrown, produced right here in Mississippi. Go to SuperiorCatfish.com. Visit Mississippi.org. As I say, it sounds like a song. You know why? Because we are the birthplace of America's music. And that says it all. I'm Steve Azar with Mike, the Monk Guy Farrell. Stand by.
All the warmth you bring to this cold heart with the slightest touch is enough to know. Baby, you're my sunshine. Everybody needs a little sunshine. Yeah, you're my sunshine. 'Cause like the dawn, you push it all the way.
For a flipping good time.
In a Mississippi Minute right now, I'm rocking, I'm rolling, I'm doing it all with my pal Mike, the Monk Guy Farrell. You can go to themonkguy.com, sign up for his weekly newsletters. He is a consultant of the stars of business, and he has been rocking for a long time, and he does it with incredible integrity, morals, faith-driven. It's a beautiful thing because he digs down to the core and he works his way out. And he has soul in a lot of the things that he teaches, his principles. It's beautiful, the Benedictine way. Speaking of anything that's beautiful that's going to be on your plate, that's a pretty good segment. Go to SuperiorCatfish.com. Go to store.SuperiorCatfish.com. It'll come to your house. Tell them I sent you. Visit Mississippi.org. Been with me for a long time. I am in awe of folks coming into our state and leaving with an impression that is priceless, that they go, oh, I want to come back to Mississippi. And that's the beautiful thing, and that's the way it goes. That's always been the case with me, with friends that come to visit that's never been here, and they leave going like, can I come stay an extra week next time? And that's a tribute and a testament to all of you here that live in our Mississippi. All right, Mike, you're talking about strategic growth, but you say that you can't look at the – okay, so let me try to phrase this question.
Yeah.
You've gone public. And you're looking at these short-term goals, and you have short-term gains. So you say now all of a sudden your mind goes to these short-term gains. Well, how do you juggle goals versus gains?
Well, I think the key piece of this, Steve, is that when we begin to chase short-term goals, we start to cut corners. And there's all kinds of ethical background and research that have done on companies that have done that. And when you continually chase those quarterly goals, whether it's your stock price or your valuation or whatever the case may be, what happens is inevitably you can't maintain that. And sooner or later, you're going to get a quarter or a couple of quarters. And we're even seeing, I saw some of the earnings reports yesterday. You know, you're going to get times where all of a sudden the pressure from the investors is strong because they're not hitting their quarterly numbers.
Right.
And so what I talk to leaders about is, it's all good and well. I understand your quarterly numbers, but are you here for the short term or are you here for the long term? Simon Sinek's got a great book called The Infinite Game, and it really talks about how we have to strategically plan for the long term. And if we do that and we do it right, the short-term stuff takes care of itself.
Dealing with our foundation, we deal with a lot of folks that are still in business for themselves that have been very successful. And I want to look at, like, for example, Tito's right now, who's usually a product sponsor, but Tito's still is owned by the guy that Tito's started it. He hasn't sold yet. I hear it's worth $1 gazillion, but it seems like that they are able to move a lot quicker, make decisions at a lower level in the company. So one of their regional managers that lives in Biloxi, or maybe just statewide managers, they reach out and they go, "We love what you're doing." They do a lot of investigating. They know what the foundation's doing. And they go, "This year," they go, "We want to send you some more money this year to help." And you can buy the product with that money. But the bottom line is it works out for us way better.
Sure.
Is a guy like Tito right now, because he's in control and they're still growing, it looks like, is he in La La Land compared to if he sold, do you think? Or, I mean,
well, I mean, some of that is a personal decision, especially when you're an individual entrepreneur and you've got to make a decision. Do I continue to hold on to it as a private entity versus a public entity? Obviously, you're going to lose some control. And now I'd be very surprised. I don't know a lot about Tito's, but I would be very surprised if he doesn't have some sort of an advisory board that helps him make some of the decisions that he makes. But, the other thing, and you brought it up about having the regional manager being able to make some decisions. He probably doesn't know it, but he's exercising a term called subsidiarity. And subsidiarity is the idea that we give decision-making ability to the lowest level that's involved with the decision. So here you've got a regional manager that he knows your foundation. He's really, looked at the foundation. He can come back and say, this is what we really need to do. A lot of entrepreneurs, especially, they're such control freaks that they have a hard time letting go of that. And so rather than having a regional manager make that decision, it's all got to flow back to him, and then he's got to get in the middle of it, and then he's got to make the decision. And so this idea of subsidiarity, which, by the way, is part of Catholic social teaching, is letting the decision-making happen at the lowest possible level. Wow. And it also goes right to the rule of Benedict, where Benedict talks about allowing those that are actively engaged in whatever they're doing make the decision without it having go all the way up to the abbot.
Obviously, you got to make the cut. I'm sure that they all have budgets, and they probably.
Oh, sure.
But they're set free to make those decisions.
Right.
I mean, there's no way Tito. We're still using Tito as an example. There's no way that he could, as big as it's gotten, that he can micromanage every little thing that's going on.
That's exactly right.
And they're very philanthropic. He's proved that over the years. So it's a shout out to them. I'm going to give him some a lot of love.
And I would say, Steve, that he's got a higher purpose vision. His higher purpose vision is not about making money. His higher purpose vision is about being philanthropic and being able to be successful enough where he can do these things.
At what point in your life and in business does that happen?
Well, I think it can happen right out of the blocks. I mean, there are a lot of startups that you'll see today that the reason that they're in business is to do something for somebody, not necessarily make money. Now, obviously, they have to make money in order to do some of those things, but the decisions aren't made by the money making. The decisions are made by, does it fit within our values and our higher purpose vision? That's the big key.
You've got this big circle. Is this a new logo, by the way?
Yeah, it's kind of a new design of the monk principles.
Okay. Is the monk in the middle drinking a beer?
Yeah.
I love that.
And you know why?
Why?
Because the Benedictine monks make the best beer in the world.
They make beer. That's exactly right. I just love seeing this logo. I mean, it's worth everybody signing up right now at themonkguy.com just so you can see the logo. Now, you got the blue star looking shape thing wrapped around, and then you've got some serious words: stability, excellence, hospitality, community, intention, which is what I know you for.
Yep.
And then you've got this umbrella that's wrapped around it. Let's talk about authenticity. Because I think that in my world, if you cannot be vulnerable, like people have heard me say after all these years, but it's so true. you have to be so honest with yourself, and you have to be unafraid to be authentic. You have to be, to ever separate yourself that's going to last forever. And so that is always the hardest part for an artist, to figure out how and where and when am I going to be that authentic. And that takes time to become that, you know?
Yeah.
So as a writer, as an artist, as a performer, everything that you do as a sound, as a brand, everything that you do takes a lot of time for folks to realize that. Is that the same in business?
Absolutely. I mean, if you're a leader in business and you're not authentic, I'm going to tell you right now, people are going to see through that really quickly. And I think that's one of the problems why we have such a huge disengagement number in the workplace today, because we've got a lot of leaders that are not authentic. And people are seeing right through that. And they're, people work today not for money, but for being able to connect meaning and purpose to their work.
Which is what you stand for.
Right. And if you're a leader that isn't authentic, there's absolutely no chance that you're going to be able to resonate with those people in creating, in developing this meaning and purpose within their work, because authenticity is going to shine through whether you're dealing with your employees, whether you're dealing with your vendors, whether you're dealing with your customers and clients. If you're not authentic, somebody's going to figure it out pretty quickly, as you know, in the music business.
Yeah. SuperiorCatfish.com has a big smile on his face, just like visitmississippi.org, because we've gone all the way almost into a commercial with my pal, Mike the Monk Guy Farrell. I'm feeling better about everything. I hope you guys are as well. I'm Steve Azar.
$20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now. In a Mississippi Minute with Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Flying down that levee road.
In a Mississippi Minute, you can take your sweet time. Yes, I said that. I did many years ago, and it became a radio show. Come on. We are different from a New York Minute. It's sort of ironic that my daughter, if I can use the word ironic, because I know that most of us use that wrong at times, but it is ironic that she's in New York and living a New York Minute while I have a radio show and a song called In a Mississippi Minute. There you go. But she does have Mississippi in her. That girl became a Mississippi girl when she moved at the age of 10. And when she is asked where she's from, she always says Mississippi, not Nashville. I love that. That means that it made that impression and that lasting impact on her that will be forever. It changed her world, changed my boys' world, and I'm grateful for visitmississippi.org for celebrating everything that we are. Superior Catfish, it's authentic. We're talking about authenticity and delivering that. It's produced right here in Mississippi, and I'm telling you, those guys, they love what they do. When you walk in there, there's a warmth about them. So go to superiorcatfish.com. Make that your choice of catfish. Mike the Monk Guy Farrell is my guest today, and I'm not going to even get past his logo. I mean, we got everything wrapped up right there. I've got all these newsletters. I was ready to dig deep into it. If we get there, we get there, but I'm still feeling good about today. All right. I'm upside down here. Lead virtuously. All right, that matters to me. Let's talk about it.
Well, I think the lead virtuously, this is kind of something that I think in the business and corporate world today, we've sort of lost track of. And certainly we've lost track of it in other areas of leadership, including politics and government and all those kinds of things. The idea that we lead with virtue, we lead with character, we lead with humility, those kinds of things are so important to leading well. And if you're not exercising those virtues, if you're not exercising these virtues of humility and magnanimity and courage and justice and wisdom, those types of virtues and also the character strengths that go with it, you're really kind of operating without a core. We've talked before on your show about this whole idea of grounding. And virtue grounds you. Virtue is, Aristotle talked about virtue as being the best of life and the best of the human person. And so this idea of virtue is so important, especially as we relate with other people.
I struggle when I'm watching TV, right? And I struggle watching someone who has been caught in a lie. Mm-hmm. In any walk of life. So we're not going to go where I've seen it in every walk of life. I've witnessed it firsthand in my business for sure a lot. And you know that they are lying, but they have a way of denying and denying and denying. And they eventually wear you out with it. They just move on and it's forgotten.
Right.
What happens to trust? I mean, like within the body of folks that they're working with alone, not if you're a public figure or you're a CEO or you're a religious leader or you're whatever. What happens from just the people that are around them as far as that respect and that core value that they know, well, you lied, you're getting away with it. I mean, what happens to the fiber of the company? I mean, like the strength of it.
That's exactly right. I mean, you look at the whole idea of how do you build a successful organization, company, small business, government, whatever the case may be. If you don't have trust and cooperation, you don't have anything. And the only way that you build trust and cooperation is through integrity, through virtue, through character, those kinds of things. Those are the foundations of being able to build trust and cooperation. Without trust and cooperation, good luck.
It just really blows my mind. Just blows my mind. All right, I'm looking at
the question of when that falls apart. You know, you can play that game for a while, but sooner or later, that's going to fall apart.
Okay, I agree with you, but I've seen some of it last a pretty dang long time.
Oh, I know.
And does that mean that the devil has gotten control of their soul and they're able to live on this planet because it's here and not where we're heading?
Right. Well, I think they've created this huge persona that's a lie. Their entire life is a lie. And, I have to believe from a Catholic perspective anyhow, as you and I both are, I have to believe that there's going to be a reckoning there. And it might not be while they're alive, but I'm going to guarantee you it'll be after they're gone.
Mike the Monk Guy Farrell, go to themonkguy.com. Please sign up for his weekly newsletter. Check his books out. You'll learn more about his books on his website. Also, he's a great speaker. If you need someone to come in and motivate, he's your guy. And just a great guy. He works with entrepreneurs and leaders, helping them to achieve exponential growth through virtue-driven leadership and strategic focus fueled by ancient monastic principles, monk principles. So like I said, please reach out to his website if you want to be a part of what he's cooking up. Like my pals over there at Superior Catfish. And it's not even time to go to a break, but I have an extra shout out. What do you think about that? All right, let's talk about.
We got a little something cooking down there too. So,
we are. We're going to do a little retreat down here at Pearl River Resort and Dancing Rabbit. I can't wait to share that experience with you when you walk out of the clubhouse and you're overlooking the parts of the golf course from the balcony. It's just gorgeous. The azaleas are blooming and it's just a beautiful stretch of Mississippi. Beautiful folks there. Choctaws, beautiful people, Chief Cyrus Ben, my buddy Matt, everybody there has been spectacular. I've been working with them now for over 4 years, and that's a pretty long time in our business, and I'm just telling you, we love each other. It's been a beautiful thing, and I respect them so much. When you talk about these core values, they represent it to the T. You and I have had this discussion, and folks out there that are listening, I've gotten to the point in my life where I've been able to choose the people I want to work with, but I've always been the guy that wants to be loved and love the people I'm working with. So I dig a little deeper into the relationship, and I've found people in my life now that I work with that are the same way. Folks used to say, oh, you can't mix business and pleasure. You can't mix friendship with business. Well, our friendships have been made because of our respect for each other, how we're treating each other. That goes hand in hand, I think, and as we live our lives now, what came first, the chicken or the egg? I don't know, but I can tell you that it is a blessing to get to work with people that you absolutely adore and respect.
I agree. I mean, I look at the clients that I work with, and many of them become very dear friends. You know,
Love it.
It might start out as a client relationship, but you know, we really become true friends, you know, and that's great. Cause like you said, I'm at the stage in my life where I'm only going to work with people I want to work with.
I love that. A sign of our age or a sign of the times? Which one?
Yeah. Maybe both.
I think COVID was the big shift for a lot of people. Yeah. You know, I think it was for you, for me, for probably everybody listening. God bless the people that had to go through health issues, loved ones, lost loved ones. I mean, our nurses and doctors that were, you know, front and center with that war, having to go to work, and everybody that was in that profession and beyond, they are true heroes for sure, because it was the great unknown. But right. I do feel like that there was the silver lining, which if you're going to search for it and find it, I feel like a lot of people have figured out how to be happier. And you've said that. You talk about happiness over the money. Let the money follow the happiness. My dad's been telling me that my whole life. Take care of what you love. It will take care of you. He's always said that. And no matter what, when I'd get a little bit like, Dad, I don't know about that saying of yours, I'm thinking, he goes, no, you got to trust me. Just do that. He is in the long run and most of the short run, he's been right. Let's take a quick break. We're with Mike the Monk Guy Farrell. Superior Catfish, homegrown and produced right here in Mississippi. You can get Superior Catfish in Mississippi if you want to walk into Piggly Wiggly in Louisville, Ocean Fresh in Tupelo, Tim's in Macon, where it's produced, Piggly Wiggly Union, Octibaha County Co-op, which sounds like a song to me. I haven't written it, but I probably will. Clay County Co-op. Visit Mississippi.org. Plan a road trip with your loved ones. I'm Steve Azar. Don't go nowhere. Highway 61. Highway 61. Highway 61. Up to $20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
Hello.
short Mississippi segment left of a Mississippi Minute. Superior Catfish, nothing short about that. Check them out. Go to store.superiorcatfish.com and get it delivered to your home, your business, and you won't regret it. It is real. It is Mississippi through and through. Visit Mississippi.org celebrates so many wonderful things that represent who we are as a people in every inch of Mississippi. So check it out. Plan a road trip, as we say, to parts of Mississippi you hadn't visited in a while or maybe never visited. If you're living in Mississippi, if you're listening out of Mississippi, we got a lot of listeners around the country, and I would like to hope the globe. Make your road trip. Fly yourself into Memphis or Jackson, and come spend a week with us in Mississippi. All right, Mike, we've got just a little short segment left, and I want to do read one of the newsletters I got because you talked about me. I recorded a radio show. That's funny. A radio show. You should have said with my friend Steve Azar.
754.
Yeah, you didn't put it on. With my friend Steve Azar today, and we were talking about being grounded. You just mentioned that a little while ago. He told the story about his decision to leave Nashville and move back to Mississippi, where he felt more grounded. And when he did, the good things started happening. We talked about what being grounded as a leader means: staying anchored in your values, purpose, and identity, especially under pressure. Now, there was a lot of pressure when I left everything that made sense in the music business. And when I moved away from the big managers and the big agents, I didn't realize how big of a jump that was going to be. I did realize it would be something because we wouldn't be hanging out on the golf course, hanging out, cooking together, spending Thanksgivings together like we always did. Our relationship was pretty deep, and thus it got me work, right?
Sure. Yep.
I could go, hey guys, I love being on the golf course with you right now, but what's my month look like? And then they'd feel the love, or they would give me the love. Oh, it looks great. Your year looks great. Here's what we got. I'd have to remind them at times, but being grounded, I never was grounded until I came back home to Mississippi. Never felt that was real to me, and I absolutely feel grounded now.
Yep. And and we've talked about this before. This grounding is really the whole monk principle of stability. And Benedict talks about this idea of stability, and the way that he phrases is he talks about the different types of monks. And so he talks about the Cenobites who live in community and work in community and are grounded. But then he talks about another one called the gyrovags. And the gyrovags are the monks that are constantly looking for the grass greener on the other side of the hill. So they come and visit, and they stay at a monastery for a few months and decide, that, kind of like the Goldilocks and the Bears, that bed's not quite right. I'm going to go to the next one. And so, Benedict talks about these gyrovags, and there's no grounding there. And so this idea of stability, and in fact, when Benedictine monks and nuns actually take their vows, one of the vows that they take is this idea of stability, that they are committed to the monastery or the priory or the abbey or whatever it is that they're committing to. They're committed to it for life. And that's home. That's the grounding aspect of it. And as we've talked about, when you're grounded, it's much easier to do the right thing. I think I quoted one of your songs there, didn't I?
Doing it right.
When we do the right thing, and we're grounded, then great things happen.
Wow. Okay. Thought number 2 that you said. Mm-hmm.
And hospitality is so much more than just service. And that's why I think hospitality is so important. It's not just about a restaurant or a hotel or an event. Hospitality goes to every single core of every single business and organization.
Yeah.
In that it's that attention to detail, authenticity, being present, a welcoming presence. Benedict talks about welcoming the guest as Christ. And really think about that. I wrote in a LinkedIn article not too long ago about what would you do if Christ walked in the door to your business? You think anything would change, and or how would you react? And so again, it's this idea that we really focus on the person. He also talks in the very first line of the rule: listen with the ear of your heart. And, you know that, and just talking about that person that you're talking to certainly wasn't listening with the ear of their heart.
Wasn't listening with any ear of their toes either.
Yeah, right.
You got to be kidding me. Wasn't a thought. Well, I appreciate you spending a Mississippi Minute with me as always. I mean, I know that we'll be in the thousands soon, or we're probably at like 11, but I can't keep up at this point with me and you. It's impossible. I do know that I'm grateful for our time together. And we have gotten to really know each other this past year. Been in South Dakota a lot of years, and somehow you and I have not connected. It's crazy. Crazy until this past year. Well, grateful for that, and bless you guys. Go cook up some lasagna. Send me a picture.
All right. Sounds good.
Superior Catfish. I don't know if you want to make a lasagna catfish. I haven't decided yet. Maybe, who knows?
I might have to work on that one a little.
Think about it. As long as you put the things, you can put grits in there with it, right?
Sure. Yeah. Right. Mississippi lasagna, we'll call it.
Oh my goodness. I think we got to try it. SuperiorCatfish.com. That's what I'm talking about. That's what you're going to use. And visit Mississippi.org. Plan a road trip, as I always say, to our Mississippi. Mike and I will be at Pearl River Resort next week, with our buddy Randy Harrington, focusing on a retreat called Doing It Right Now that we're going to be putting on pretty soon there. So we're going to go, I'm going to go show them the lay of the land and how beautiful it is and all that. And I can't wait to spend time with them. Blessings to you all. You guys have a great weekend. If this show is airing on Sunday, it's an encore performance. Have a glorious Sunday. I'm Steve Azar.
I'm Steve Azar. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them, where you can take your sweet time.
A SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.